Fred Ridley, who, if you're listening to the show, you probably know who Fred Ridley is, but he's the chairman of Augusta National Golf Club. I just think he looks like $1 million. Okay, so just to digress here, like,
Yeah.
look at this man, all right?
Okay.
Like the hair on point, like, and that is the most Southern lawyer haircut you could get. It's like I don't even know how to ask for that haircut. It's kind of a poof.
It's kind of like your haircut. He just got more side love.
No, I know, but it's like the side love. Hold on, let's see.
Dude, it's the same fucking haircut.
But it's not.
You just Fred Ridley. It's Vanity Index time. It's powered by JLab. I'm Wells alongside
Chad Mum. What's up, buddy?
I'm sore.
Yeah?
Did 36 yesterday at the club for a warm-up before this big college golf boondoggle that I go on every year called the Who Cup. And I might have exerted myself. I'm not sure if I really probably should have gone that hard in the paint to my body, to my liver.
I was going to say, was it only a golf-related injury the next day, or did it have anything to do with some beverages that were consumed?
You know, listen, if you're getting ready for a golf trip with the boys, you have to practice golf and you have to practice drinking, all right?
It's true.
You can't just do one or the other because it's a war of attrition out there.
Yeah, you can't just roll in and, you can't just roll in like without practice. So
no, you can't do it.
You sound good.
I feel fine. It just was like, listen, it was 3 square meals at the club last night. Mm-hmm. And if you have 3 square meals at your country club, that's a good day.
That is a good day.
Yeah.
That is a good day. So let me ask you more about this trip, because I think there's going to be some content that gets created for this very podcast.
Yeah.
This trip. Why is it called the Who Cup?
Okay. I love that. I love this question. Mm-hmm. So I went to Ole Miss, and it was started by my buddy Zach Moore, who I think we're going to have on the show because I want to talk to him about the logistics of putting on a 24-man Ryder Cup style boondoggle, 2 different venues every single year. It's called the Who Cup because Zach and I were both members of the Sigma Chi fraternity at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, hotty toddy. And we had a house mother. I don't know if you were in a frat, but in the South, you have what's known as a house mother, and she lives in the fraternity house. Ours was an old kind of had some attitude black woman named Willette Booker. And Willette Booker would say, on Fridays, it's Fried Fridays. It's fried meatballs, and it's fried mashed potatoes, and it's everything's fried. And she would be kind of sassy to you and yell at us. And, in fraternities, especially in the South, a hallmark of the fraternity is the styrofoam cup. And you walk around, you get your styrofoam cup, you fill up with some sweet tea, you go to class, you come back, and inevitably you leave cups all around. And Willette Booker would yell at us and go, hey, who cup is this? Who cup is this? And she would get so upset with us. And so when we were trying to figure out what to call this thing, we were like, this cup of some sort, or some trophy, or what is it? And someone yelled out, well, we got to honor the spirit of Willette Booker and call it the Who Cup.
That's wow. That was a way more involved story than I thought.
Yeah.
To get out of that. It's pretty good.
So it's a total shit show, and we'll see what's going to happen. But I want to bring stuff there, and I want to record people kind of in the middle of a true boys golf trip and see how everyone's feeling.
Yeah.
And it might be something that we have to throw away completely because everyone will be too inebriated. I don't know, but we're going to see what happens.
That's going to be fun. So I've got a couple things going on too.
Okay,
not
I
the
know.
Who Cup, not the Who Cup, but one, I absolutely destroyed my DMs this morning on Instagram.
I saw this.
Last night I posted, I'm looking for a LA-based male golfer who is also an actor, who is like a Scratch level player. So someone who has a pro level swing. And so we've talked about Happy Gilmore too on the show before. I am now working on another scripted golf, this time TV project that I'll be able to talk about here sooner rather than later, but I'm working on this now. And we're trying to fill in people to be stand-ins and play pro golfers and play sort of mini tour players. And if you're, a good enough sleuth, you could probably infer what project this is because the project has been announced. Anyway, so I posted this on Instagram.
Why the secrecy then?
Well, I haven't been announced being a part of it yet.
I
can't talk about it yet, per my deal there. But anyway, I posted last night, send me, slide into my DMs, basically. Well over 1,000 people.
Really?
My DMs. Oh, yeah. And I got some legit Corn Ferry Tour guys who are training in the offices in LA, which is perfect, kind of exactly what I need. I feel like I can teach them a line or two easier than I could teach an actor how to swing like a pro. But then also so many bros just rolling in being like, yeah, dude, here's my gin. I know it says 2, but I shot 74 last summer. It's the game's trending up. I'm really probably an 8 out of 10 swing, but I've always wanted to act. It was a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, this guy, he's won on the Corn Ferry Tour this year. It's he probably made 11 birdies last time he played. I'm pretty sure that, you guys aren't even playing the same sport. So anyway, but we found it. We got a good little list going.
Okay.
It has not slowed down.
Yeah.
The velocity of inbound into the DMs is relentless now. I should never say slide into my DMs if you want to be on a giant TV show. But it's amazing how fast it's made its way around Los Angeles. So I'm excited about that. We start shooting next week. 2 people who are part of our club, one of which never shuts up about it, as you now know, are doing swing double work for the 2 leads of the show. So this is really keeping it in the family. It just so happens that one of our friends who's a member at our club and past club champion is the exact same height as the main lead and the same age, and it sort of fits. And then one of our caddies has a very unlikely build for a professional golfer. He's extremely broad-shouldered and jacked. And the other lead for this thing, same thing. So anyway, we're filling it up, man. We're having some fun. I'm kind of revving up the old Happy Gilmore cameo specials, making some phone calls here or there, kind of getting things started. So we start shooting next week. I can't wait for it.
I'm right here. I have a beautiful buttery swing. And I wasn't asked.
I don't think of you as a background guy. You're more of you're more talent. I don't think I can afford you, honestly.
Good answer.
That's what, by the way, Kunal Nair pinged me yesterday.
Yeah.
He's like, why aren't you thinking about it? He's like, it's because my swing sucks, doesn't it? I was actually, no, nothing to do with your swing.
Yeah.
It's just, this is more of a background role. So you're lead. You're definitely the main character. And he laughed.
How do we get Charlie Day on this show as well?
Again,
can't afford him.
Probably is could be the support, a real character on the show.
That's what I'm saying. He should be.
He's, I don't know if you know this about Charlie Day, but he's on a TV show already that he's pretty happy with. I don't think he needs to pick up more TV work. It's he's showing up being like, hey, can I get on your TV show? It's more of these golfers, which has been cool, and it'll be fun to give some of these young guys who are out there trying to make it as pro golfers a chance to kind of be on TV and hang, or our friends from the club that aren't professional performers, which will be kind of cool. I have one other quick plug to make. We also announced that we're doing a big party week of the Ryder Cup in New York City called the Scratch Clubhouse, which I want everybody who's listening who's in New York to come by. It's Friday of the Ryder Cup week. It's a celebration of golf culture. We've taken over this place down in the South Street Seaport called the Lawn Club. We're doing the Scratch Clubhouse. We've got a ton of cool brands. You can see it on the Skratch Instagram handle, and I've been tweeting about it. But we have all these really cool brands. They're doing exclusive drops. There's going to be a bunch of content with creators. We've got some talent coming by. It's going to be free food and drinks all day. Just kind of hang out, absorb all this golf culture on the same week as the Ryder Cup, and just come and hang with us. So Friday at the Lawn Club. I don't know exactly what day that is. I think it's the 23rd, but Friday of Ryder Cup week. Come and hang with us in New York City.
Sweet. I will be in New York City.
No way.
Because my wife is starting a new Broadway show, so I got to go out there.
Should we do a live podcast from
I
the
think we
clubhouse?
should.
Oh my God. All right. So come and meet Wells and I.
Yeah.
It's free.
It'll be easy.
And there's free drinks and food all day.
Yes.
How do we keep we're going to have a lot of Wall Street guys there. Hey, how about this? Impromptu visor contest. Whoever shows up wearing the best visor
wins what?
My Circle T.
Whoa.
No.
We'll get something cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe. I'll bring you something nice.
Yeah.
I feel so guilty about that Circle T story. I still haven't thought.
Don't feel bad. Listen, airlines have screwed us over for years and years.
That's
you
true.
know what? I'm glad someone got a win from the airlines.
You know, you're right. I'm glad someone got a win. That's true.
I loved our conversation with Colt Knost. It was so funny, so insightful. And then I saw that you had shared that, you know, Colt told this story about Dustin Johnson, you know, hitting kind of in the middle of him being announced at the Walker Cup because he was so nervous. And then you found the clip of Dustin telling the story.
From like this week.
Yeah.
So the Walker Cup interviewed Dustin and they're like, what was your experience like playing? And he was like, well, you know, he was like, I was teeing off. We played against Rory. And Colt was my partner. And I hit before that guy even finished telling the story. And he's like, you can really ask Colt about that. And I'm like, we did ask. He said that. It's that we have that story.
And then you know, Colt said, you know, I had like a 6-foot putt to beat Rory and I missed it. And Dustin will say, you know, it was a 2-foot putt, but really it was a 6-foot putt. And then at the end of it, he's like, and then Colt missed a short putt. So we tied. And it was like, oh my God, it's the exact same story.
It's the same story in reverse. And it's so funny. Yeah. And they talk shit about him laying up from 230.
Yeah.
You know, like Dustin Johnson probably hits, you know, 7-iron 230 back then. It's Colt's the best, man. I played golf once with him. One of my favorite rounds of golf ever. That was like really vanity indexy, I guess, like super on brand for this podcast. We were playing at Bel Air, and it was me, it was him, and it was Jim Nance.
Jesus.
And I think Chris Hardwick was the other guy in there. No, actually, no, it wasn't Hardwick. It was
Joel McHale?
No, it wasn't Joel McHale. It was Sellers Shy. I played with Hardwick the year,
Okay.
but he runs golf for CBS. We played in this event called the Friends of Golf. It was super cool. But then that was when Jim like commentated my my swing on 10.
Yeah.
And then Colt like basically came in and was like, with that kind of move, you know, like he's lucky he's gonna get over. I don't know. He just shit talked me. It was great. The two of them, ham and egg, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a great day. Great. We love Colt. He's got great stories. We got to get him on. We got to get Smiley on the show too. I feel like Colt and Smiley are like they play similar roles.
Yeah.
You know, one CBS, one NBC. But yeah, no, it should be good. So we'll do a live podcast from New York. I think that'll be great. We'll get some of those guys out there. That'll be fun.
I think it's a perfect idea. Yeah, we saw Smiley at the ACC thing, and that was great.
Yep.
And we need to have him on. I found a video that is really more about my game, I guess.
Okay.
But it's something that just like resonated with me, and I just wanted to talk about it.
Let's hear it. I want to hear about it.
3 feet off the green, it's a 7-wood. Or 220 off the tee, it's a 7-wood. No matter what the lie may be, it's a 7-wood. A 7-wood is what you need. What if I'm on the green? It's a 7-wood. What if I'm under a tree? It's a 7-wood. What if there's a robbery? It's a 7-wood.
Yeah, you know what? Respect.
That song really resonates with me because anytime I'm anywhere near the 220 to 230 number, it's 7-wood. And even sometimes I'm like, I'd rather hit over with the 7-wood, you know? And so I've made an executive decision. I've called my friends at TaylorMade, and I'm going to get the 9-wood.
Are you going 9?
I'm going 9.
Wow,
I'm taking the 4-iron out, putting the 9 in. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to make fun of me for being old. And that's like very Freddie Couples of me. But I don't care. All right?
Wait, doesn't the 9 replace the 5-iron?
Not for me, I don't think. I don't know. I know that my 7-wood goes 230, which is like what my 3 used to go.
Okay.
My 4-iron goes 210, 215.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's what a 9 would be.
It should be.
Right?
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right, actually, because I think a 5-wood's always like a 2-iron distance. Was supposed to be like a 2-iron, which would be like, 240 or something.
Yeah.
And then a 7-wood's probably, I guess that's like a 3-iron. As I always, because nobody has 3-irons even anymore. So,
yeah. But
But you are seeing some, I got to get a 7-wood. I have a 5-wood that's kind of set up like a 7-wood. It's just like, I think it's maybe 2 degrees stronger than a 7-wood, but technically it says 5 on there, but actually doesn't say anything. It's a title that says the loft on it. But it was meant to be basically like a 7-wood build with like a slightly stronger face on it. But I'm kind of with you, dude. Honestly, I love that guy, Jay Cutt, but that might be the best Jay Cutt video I've seen in a long time, like in terms of just like very catchy songs. Like
it's a 7-wood.
It's a 7-wood. I'm going to be thinking about that forever. We're going to do our little segment called Overheard from JLab. From the lab to the course, JLab Tech is trusted by the pros with gears engineered in the lab, built for every practice, every flight, and every moment you need to lock in.
Yep, we use all the JLab products, and JLab delivers headphones, earbuds, and Bluetooth speakers designed for life and that respects your budget, which is important. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com.
You know, I didn't want to bring this up yet on the show, but when you mentioned that you were sore, I was thinking maybe your shoulder was sore. Because my shoulder was sore.
Yeah,
because we spent the holiday on a hunt together.
You know, if there is one thing more vanity index than like playing golf at a top 100, it's wing shooting with your boys.
Yes, wing shooting with a break action over on shotguns. Never a 12 gauge, only a 20 because it's more sporting, lads.
That's right. And if you're a really good shot, it's a 410 or a 28 gauge.
Exactly.
But yes, we decided to, Chad joined me and my brother for our annual Dove Open hunt, which is like the most important week or weekend of our year, and it was nice to have you there.
Well, it was nice to be there. It was about as bougie as you could get hunting on a farm.
Yeah.
Because we were in between an almond grove and a vineyard.
Yeah.
Everybody's outfits were really like on point, you know, beautiful Italian shotguns.
Yeah.
But we popped up this tent and it was like, you know, we were going to shoot some birds or do a little wing shooting. I like that way we put that.
Yeah.
And then we were going to clean them and then eat them for basically breakfast. And all of a sudden, you know, some My Morning Jacket starts playing and the vibes just get elite. And I look up and there's a JLab Bluetooth speaker hanging from the olive tree. So, you know, this is why we love JLab. Talk about a very vanity index moment.
Yeah.
You brought the tunes. So anyway, so we're excited to get into this one. So we're talking about overheard. So we've got a very active Slack channel at Pro Shop across the company. And so we were having a conversation this morning as kind of in honor of the Walker Cup. So I don't know if you know this about the Walker Cup, but they have to have a mid-am on the team.
And so is a mid-am basically an old person that's won an amateur event?
Well, yes. So the mid-am category, and we can look this up exactly when it starts. It used to be 25 and up. So over 25 was mid-am. I think that it's actually maybe getting older now because there's so many like elite college players. So anyway, but basically you become a mid-am at like a certain age, and there's actually a USGA mid-am championship that's like an honor, kind of like winning the US Amateur. It just kind of takes away all of the college students, you know, these kind of elite. And the idea is like, hey, if you're a mid-am champion, it's like the middle of your amateur career. So this was like the height of sort of the Bobby Jones era, the kind of gentleman golfers that have a full-time job, probably have family, probably have kids, but they're not seniors, they're not retired, they're working. This is their championship. So they changed the rules a couple years ago where every Walker Cup team has to have one mid-am on it. And it's not, as we learned from Colt, you don't qualify for the Walker Cup. It's all kind of picked. And so the USGA and all the governing bodies, they have a mid-am championship. There's like a California State mid-am championship you can go and qualify for and play in. They're very competitive. The USA, like their elite mid-am has been this guy, Stuart Hagestad, for many, many years. And he's multi-time mid-am champion, played the Masters a ton of times. He's like 6'4". He's an LA guy. Remember at LACC? I've seen him out there before. Anyway, so he's been kind of our guy. And so our head of our finance team is this awesome dude named Vinny Gabriele. And we were talking this morning about, is it better to be a mid-am guy like Stuart Hagestad?
Okay.
Or like a kind of mid to bottom tier PGA Tour player?
Oh.
And so because it was such a compelling question, I was like, well, he got to come on the show, and you're literally like a finance expert, so you need you to like show your math. And so, of course, within like 12 hours, he has a whole spreadsheet he's ready to share with us. So welcome to the Vanity Index Podcast's Pro Shop's head of finance, Vinny Gabriele. How we doing, Vinny?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Love the show. No one paid me to say that technically, but happy to be here.
I mean, technically, you'd pay yourself.
Yeah.
We lead finance. And this is a show that our company owns with Wells. So, I don't know if I believe that. But look, our lawyer's not here, so you can say it, and I'll believe you. Vinny, really quick, before we get into this, tell us a little about yourself. Where you play your golf? What's your current index?
So I currently am a member of a club in Central Jersey called Battleground Country Club. It's in Manalapan, New Jersey. The historic significance of that country club, it is on the battlefield site for the Battle of Monmouth from the Revolutionary War. which is kind of cool. We had our pro shop all hands mid-year summit there, and the company got a chance to go out and play the course. And of course, Chad always wants to squeeze in an extra 12 or 13 after the round, so we got to do that. So in terms of the index, I think it's right at 9.5 right now.
Yeah, Vinny's a good player. He's a very great 9.5. Like
Do you have like a minimum handicap you have to be to work for your company? Is it unspoken?
No, we don't. But that's putting some ideas in my head. Don't tell HR, Vinny. No, we've got some good players. There's some real stuff. I'm definitely not the best player in the company.
Really?
Yeah. Our head of commerce is really, really good. We talked about him on the podcast before. Okay. He's a stick. He plays the Tiger Woods blades, and he can play them.
Yeah.
He can really move them. So I feel like as we continue to grow, we're gonna attract more and more elite players, and eventually I really hope someone's gonna call me and be like, "Hey, boss, I need to take some time off work because I qualified for the mid-am."
Yeah.
Like that would be a dream. And so anyway, but Vinny, of course, not to say we did play an extra 12 holes, and we absolutely played hammer in that total. So it was the left-right. We did like a 6-man left-right hammer, so it was good. Anyway, all right, Vinny. So this was your idea. So why don't you kind of lay it out for us? How did you come up with this? And then you can share your screen. Maybe we'll get into your spreadsheets here in a second. But just give me the little lay of the land for how you came up with this.
Yeah, so I thought it was a really interesting kind of prompt on Twitter and an interesting question. And I think a lot of people answer these questions based on kind of like vibes. And I was like, well, what's kind of beneath if you peel back that onion, what's kind of beneath those layers? And what is like what would the data say if we actually picked, a guy within the, 100 to 150 kind of range on the tour, looked at the courses he played, what he had to do to get to those locations, what kind of earnings did he get, and what do you actually keep, right? Because I think a lot of people see some of these earnings on tour and they're like, oh my God, so-and-so placed 120th but still made, $900,000. That's amazing. But when you dig into what they pay in taxes, what they have to pay their caddies, what you pay to travel, what do you actually kind of net out at the end of it? I thought would be an interesting exercise to then compare to this, question of if you're a stick, a mid-amateur stick, and you're doing the Aronimic Philly kind of ultra private round, is that better than grinding it out on the tour based on what the analysis showed us?
I love this. And so this was posited last night in our group Slack.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're coming on the show. You better show your work. Okay. So Vinny has since gone and done a whole bunch of analysis on this. So Vinny, without further ado, what does the data tell us, my friend? Can you share your screen and show us?
Yep, I'm sharing it right now. And I think the interesting thing about this, and this is kind of a separate topic, but it really does matter. Not only how you place and what the purse is, but it kind of matters where you win too, because based on these different jurisdictions across the country, the tax impact to some of these guys are pretty big, right? if you're like Harry Higgs and you're a resident of Texas and you place at the Valero Texas Open and there's no state income tax, that's a gain for you, right? Conversely, if you play in the Puerto Rico Open or in Mexico, I think the Mexico Open is probably the better example. Mexico has a 25% non-resident tax that they take right off the top. So where you win definitely impacts what you end up netting for yourself. So I use Harry Higgs as kind of our example.
I love that. Okay, so well-known tour player, people who play golf and are golf sickos know about Harry Higgs. So tell me, it's hard to see on the screen because we're watching on a bigger monitor, but why don't you kind of walk us through this? We can zoom in the video podcast, but assuming there's going to be people listening to this. So we've got a model on the screen. We're looking at an Excel sheet. This is not Google Sheets, ladies and gentlemen. This is real Microsoft Excel that has been prompted into our podcast. Why don't you walk us through this, Vinny, assuming that a lot of people listening aren't going to be able to see this in person. So tell us what we're seeing.
Okay, so I took his schedule for 2025, and I just took the events that he played in where he made the cut and actually received earnings, right? So those were 12 events throughout the year. We have the tournament that he played in, the course, what position he finished in, what the purse was, the earnings were for that position, what state or territory it took place in, because some of these actually took place outside of the U.S. And then I did like what he pays in taxes on this, right? So the federal tax rate, we're assuming he's in like the 24% bracket, which is an assumption. What a lot of people don't know is that, these guys are all independent contractors, so they have to like pay self-employment tax because they don't have an employer paying, an employer share of their taxes. So that's like another 14%. So just like on federal taxes and self-employment, like that's 38% that comes off, the top of these earnings, right? And then I went into each of these jurisdictions through, the help of ChatGPT and said, like, what are the tax rates, like the state and local rates on top of it, right? Because you pay those in addition to your federal and self-employment. And then what's kind of the total tax rate that comes off and what kind of nets after that? And then to kind of like take it another step further, as people know, like there's obviously an agreement with their caddy, so the caddy gets, a fee out of that, and that's kind of like out of their gross. And then I just kind of estimated, travel costs that it would take to, get to these places, right? That obviously the players kind of have to fund. And, there's a lot of other things too. Like I'm sure you guys know that, there's what they pay their coaches and instructors that, given the tight turnaround that Chad gave me on this thing, I didn't delve that deep into it. But what this whole thing kind of said to me is that, with Harry getting around $840,000 of earnings on the tour in 2025, he ended up keeping from, roughly, 30% of that when all of that is said and done, right?
So what's the number? What's the end number for him?
The end number is in the blue column. It's roughly 238,000.
Whoa.
Wow.
I thought he would have made a lot more than that.
Yeah. Wow. And then what was the biggest like brutal hit in terms of like all the tax? Was the Mexico?
Yeah, I think that one definitely hurt the most, right? And listen, it's we could do a lot of things here, but it also obviously depends. Like, he finished 74th in the Mexico Open, right? So it wasn't a big purse, so obviously the hit was less. Now, if you finished high or you won in that tournament, that 25% obviously cut a lot deeper.
Ooh.
Where did he get the T2?
The T2 was at the Myrtle Beach Classic.
Got it.
Okay, so
Wow.
Florida's got to have better taxes, right?
Well, Myrtle Beach.
Well, that was South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina.
And
Okay.
that's a perfect example, Wells. Like he finished T2 in Myrtle Beach, and South Carolina has the pretty low state income tax at 6.5%. So he's keeping more money by doing that than if he was in a higher tax jurisdiction like California.
Interesting.
Well, just think, and then also imagine like the accounting costs for this. Like it's not like a normal, your normal W-2. I mean, you've got to file state taxes in every single jurisdiction that you've been paid, right?
Yep.
Like, so think about the mountain of paperwork, and that's not going to be cheap. Your accountant's kind of sorting all through this stuff,
Yep.
Then you got a girlfriend, obviously. Maybe a wife, probably some kids. I don't know. You got to be on the PJ occasionally. That's so okay. There was also, did you do something on the other side too in terms of the courses that he played? Because I think I saw 2 screenshots earlier, like rationalizing, okay, to go and whatever. We don't know what else he made on the Korn Ferry Tour and his endorsement deals and things like that. But his takeaways from winning on the PGA Tour, what he's basically taking home, which is like $230,000, $250,000 or less. Compared to like a mid-am who works at Deloitte or like is in some very high like white collar finance job, which Vinny could probably also tell us how much that you make doing that kind of thing, and assuming you're a member at LACC and pick one of the big financial firms or a big law firm or somewhere where you'd have some time. I don't know what Stuart Hagestad does. I think he's in consulting, so you know how much the billable hours are for like a Deloitte or a McKinsey person, so I feel like you might end up better off as Stuart Hagestad. I don't know.
Did you break down a mid-am?
So I didn't break down a mid-am. I kind of focused on the tour player. But the other kind of piece to this, the other screenshot that Chad was referring to was I went in and looked at like what the average travel time it would take him being based in Texas, which assuming that's accurate according to the ChatGPT, and what it would take to get to these locations. And it's in total for just these 12 events that he actually made the cut and got earnings for. It was roughly like 50 hours of total like back and forth flight time. So all of this took, 50 hours in the air, there and back to do this. And, the wear and tear that kind of takes on these guys, like, there's a lot that goes into this when you think about it.
You could be sitting there at LACC, closing deals, getting your little rip on the big business deals you're bringing through, and you're the best golfer in the firm. And, and then you get to go play the Masters, and you go play the Walker Cup at Cypress Point. Maybe you'll squeeze the U.S. Mid-Am. I'm sure it was at an epically awesome place this year. I mean, Stewie's got the life.
I think
good.
I'd rather be a mid-am than to be Harry Higgs, I guess.
I mean, I do love Harry Higgs.
I do too. He's hilarious.
Higgs is fantastic.
Yeah.
He's definitely, that's unfair. I'm sad that it's Harry that we're looking at.
I picked Harry because I love him as well. But I think like the big like thing in this analysis too that shows you is that like if you're a mid-am and you play bad in your weekend match or even one of your mid-am tournaments, who cares? You come back the next day. When you're Harry, you're putting all this out there and you play bad, you fly back and don't get paid. Right? So
wow. Yeah. That's so well
Brutal.
put.
All right,
Vinny. Well, thank you for doing this. I think you're now the official statistical analysis guru of the Vanity Index podcast. We'll have to think of another thing to set you on. Maybe like some gambling Calcutta related financial analysis.
Well, there is no Steve Kornacki in the golf space, so I'm happy to kind of step into that white space opportunity.
I think get your khakis ready, buddy. We already talked about
they're already ordered.
The ThinkPad is booted up, and you are looking great in 720p. Probably the first podcast ever recorded on a IBM ThinkPad.
Yeah,
it's a Microsoft Surface, tablet. Let's just
there it is.
Let's just be clear. I just don't want to. I didn't come here to be equipment shamed.
Yeah, sure it is.
No mid-am or Harry Higgs would have any of this technology problems.
Which, by the way, if you're a Stuart Haggis ain't using a Mac. No way.
No.
Not a chance. So.
Listen, I'm just excited that we got Excel on the show.
Yeah.
You know? I never thought I'd see it, but here we are.
It's good, and we'll publish it. We'll put this out on the show's page on Instagram. So, okay, well, Vinny, we'll have you back on the show. But thank you for putting this together at such short notice and for prompting a hilarious conversation. We love you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, buddy. I like how that you made him do a bunch of work that wasn't really necessary.
He was going to do it anyway. It's you can't pop into our Slack channel and suggest something and say I might run the numbers and not run the numbers.
That was hilarious.
When the Excel sheet popped up, I was like, "This is fantastic."
That's amazing.
He just did that this morning.
Yeah,
it's great. That's a whole nother kind of I don't know, creative brain that I just don't have, like that exact thing that he just did.
No,
and there's a whole giant millions of people who that's the way their mind works.
I know, and it's not how my mind works.
No,
I saw that Excel spreadsheet and I got nervous for statistics class in college that I had learn all that stuff in.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
We got to get him to do some more stuff.
I know. What else can we make him crunch numbers for?
I think I want to do. I mean, I don't know all these things that I'm curious now that I have this weapon. I didn't even think about it. And he wants to be on the show, so this is fantastic. I want him to do a breakdown of how a golf tournament makes money for a city. I'd love to see how hosting a PGA Tour event, what it does, economic impact, and do some kind of forecast because you start to see all these purses and how they are building, and I want to kind of see how that works. I think that'd be kind of interesting. It'd be fun to kind of look at how the money flows on something like that. I'd also be interested in kind of doing some kind of gambling analysis around golf betting. You know how much that is near and dear to my heart. Maybe he could maybe help me not lose as much by give me some frameworks for how to think about wagering, as opposed to the vibes, which is what I usually do. So
is this counting cards, but for golf, like when you should be hammering and stuff?
Well, okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. So this was like we played last week. I had a friend in town, and it was actually ended up being like randomly we paid with Charlie Day and Brent Brockermeyer, and we went out and played. And we were like introducing the hammer because Brock and Charlie had never played hammer.
Okay.
And the guy that I was with is an agent for a top PGA Tour player. And so we always play hammer together. So we're explaining it to Charlie, and we on the first hole, like they threw a hammer, and it was sort of, I had a 15-foot putt to tie, and I was like, well, it's the first hole, I'll just let it ride. And the agent was like, you're an idiot. Like Scotty Scheffler or Spieth or JT or any of these guys would immediately lay that down. Like they're looking at the likelihood of making that putt. They're doing the math in their head, and they're like, I'll live to fight another day. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just the first hole. It's just $10. Like whatever, I'll get behind. Maybe I'm big. They're like, no, they play the odds. And so I don't think about it like that at all. I just think about it as like, let's re-roll. Go again. And so I think Vinny, for a good reason was kind of hired to, he works at our company, and I think is maybe in his job to prevent some of whatever my instinct is financially to not, make sure that everybody else loses their money and jobs in terms of the business of our company. But he's very good at it, and so we'll have to think of some fun things for him to do. Anyway, we've got some fun stuff. This is like we're basically just talking golf right now, buddy. Like we're talking golf. We got some fun hypotheticals. We got some nice kind of country clubby questions. I feel like we're gonna agree on some of these. I think we're gonna disagree on some of these. So why don't you take us out of the gate here?
I've seen a couple clips on TikTok that I think would be like just really interesting for the show. So I wanted to get your take on it, and then I'll give my opinion. Then I also want to know like what the VIPers out there would think.
Okay.
This comes from Garrett Franklin Golf. He's doing this video whilst holding a baby. I think I should mention. Here's what he has to say.
Question from my golfers: when it comes to head covers, like your driver, woods, putter, whatever, once you take it off during the rounds, do you put it on after every time you hit it, or are you leaving it off? Because personally, I'm leaving that off. Once I take it off once, throw it in the back of the cart, it's off. But I see people put it back on every single time after they hit. What are we doing?
Yeah, Chad, what are we doing?
I mean, is that a real baby, or is this just engineered for sympathy because of the worst take ever?
But this is something that you see a lot of. Like I see a lot of people not even have head covers on clubs sometimes.
I mean, showing up at a golf course with no head covers, immediate sign of like you're not even really a golfer.
Yeah.
Like, because even if you're an aspiring golfer, you just bought your first set, you're probably going to have like too many head covers, or they're going to be matching, or they're going to be but the person who's just rolling up no head covers, it's like, okay, you got this out of the garage. Maybe it's your dad's clubs or your grandparents' club. Like that's such a sign of like a not golfer to not have any head covers. I've never seen a good player roll up with. I'm sure there is one. I'm sure there's someone taking someone's money, rolling up with no head covers, but I've never really seen it.
Yeah, but that's like part of the hustle, maybe.
That's part of the hustle, yeah, for sure. And it's like all the clubs are in the wrong spot
on
the bag. Look, I want to get into that in a second because I have a lot of opinions, and I can even demonstrate with this bag here about where the clubs need to go. It's very important that you get them in the bag the right way. But showing up in like, when you get, having your bag in a cart, for one, that's literally the reason why the head covers are there. Like it's bouncing around. You're trying to protect your clubs. It's protecting both your woods and your irons and your putter. Obviously, the putter is the thing you're looking very closely at. One of my biggest pet peeves is, I think I've told this story before. I had a tour issue Odyssey putter, and the caddy at a top 10 golf course, like just never put the putter cover on the entire round. And like, it was super banged up at the end. I had to like get a file out and file it away. So I'm always like replace the head covers. However, if I'm in a cart, I will occasionally just leave the driver head cover off, because the driver head cover sits above all the other, like the driver is taller than all the other things in my bag. So it's not like it's going to hit an iron when I drop it into the bag. Putter is egregious because the putter is like one of the shortest clubs. So it's going to be right in the mix of all the woods and wedges and irons, and like it's just going to get banged up. The driver's taller than everything. So theoretically, you're going to put the driver in and nothing's going to hit it when you're riding around with it headless or with it coverless. And, as long as you're putting your like wood covers back on, you got no issues, baby. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
what do you think?
I think that it annoys me when people don't put their head covers back on. And listen, usually usually your driver is the most expensive club in your bag. Don't you want to keep that like pristine? There's nothing that bugs me more than like we call it the dummy mark, but it's like a scratch on the top of it. And you're like, every time you look at it, you're like, oh, my 7-wood, my favorite club in my bag.
It's got a sky mark.
It's got, yeah, of course. Cause I've tried to hack balls out where I shouldn't be, and it bugs the hell out of me. So I don't know. I think this guy is crazy.
I think he's crazy. Yeah. I think you got to put the head covers back on. I think I could get behind, like I said, driver head cover staying off only in a cart, not with a caddy. I think that you could maybe excuse that, but just all of them off, you're psychotic.
Okay, so let's do this Roger Steele question, which I think is really, really good.
This was like a real kind of can't knock it type situation.
I think it is. I think it is a can't knock. Hold on, let me put on some sunglasses.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna go get some sunglasses. Oh my god!
Here, we've got some right here.
All right, I'm gonna get some.
All right, everyone, it's time for our segment, Can't Knock It. It's brought to you by Knockaround, proud partner of the Vanity Index podcast. These guys make seriously awesome shades, and now they're the official eyewear of the PGA Tour. Honestly, these things are great. Not only are they great on the golf course, but Chad and I both realized they are great when doing a little bit of wing shooting on Dove Open.
Unexpected great use. It's a little eye protection. I think that maybe I was giving away our position because I had the polarized ones, which are very bright blue. And it was like there wasn't a cloud in the sky. And I was like, I wonder if the birds can see that. And then I like held it. Look, I was looking at it. It was just like a mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're in like somewhat camouflage. But so anyway, but yes, these are, I've never worn these before, but these are the songbirds, which are kind of like,
they're pretty sick.
Really vintage. I'm down with the shape. Like this is really nice. So anyway, yeah, no, they make all kinds of shades. We have some of the performance ones over there too, which I might, if I play a little golf this afternoon, they might be going on the face here. But they're designed to heighten contrast and definition and help you see the greens more clearly. It is really useful actually how much detail you can pick up. So if you want to try a pair, head over to knockaround.com/golf and use our code Wells Vanity Index 20 for 20% off your first order. Again, that's Vanity Index 20 for 20% off. Some exclusions apply, but it's definitely worth checking out. So, all right, let's hear from our good friend Raj. Let's hear what Roger's got to say. I like this one a lot when we were getting ready for the show. He's the man, dude. There's no one cooler.
Yesterday, I was kind of sad to realize that the PGA Tour season is over. I'm used to watching golf on Sundays, but we had a good-ass season, though, didn't we? Rory got him a Masters, finally won the Grand Slam. Scotty won 2 majors like he forgot they were supposed to be hard. JJ unexpectedly got a U.S. Open like a Pete Davidson relationship. Man, Wu got a win. Tommy Fleetwood won the Tour Championship and enough money to buy a fleet or something. Ryder Cup year, Keegan Bradley with the player-coach dilemma. You know what, how much time he spent around MJ, I am surprised that he passed on that. Because MJ would never. Or maybe those Wizard years got him jaded a little bit. I get it, though. Big stages past your prime is risky business. Tiger figuring that out the hard way. But then, me and my boy got into a rather heated discussion on the best would you rather golf season. And I got stuck. Okay, would you rather, in a single season, win the Masters, and you could win this however you want, beat whoever you want, buy however many you want, hole in one on 12, eagle 13, eagle 15, drip in hole in one on 16, set the scoring title. Literally, you could win the Masters however you want. Or would you rather win 2 majors of your picking at whatever venue you wanted to win them at? Win the U.S. Open at Pebble. You could win the Open at St. Andrews Old Course. You could win the PGA Championship at Oak Hill. Again, you could beat whoever you want, buy however much you want, 2 majors, your pick. Or would you rather win all 8 PGA Tour signature events and win the Tour Championship with the $10 million bonus and get selected for an away Ryder Cup team, go 4-0 and lead your team to an away victory? Damn. Green jacket legend, multi-major icon, or PGA Tour Ryder Cup hero? Which one you gonna pick? And to further clarify, this will be the extent of your professional golf success. After this year, you go completely Anthony Kim. You disappear, and we all just speculate about your lifestyle choices and your insurance policies. And no, there's not a live bag coming to save you in a few years either. This is it. Let me know what you pick.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. I want to start this by saying that I had a very similar question that I wanted to pose. And this is even more intriguing. Mm-hmm. But what I wanted to propose was, what would you rather win? A Masters at Augusta, a U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, or the Open Championship at St. Andrews. But in this one, you can win either the Masters, or you can win 2 of the other majors, or you can win every signature event and the Tour Championship.
Yeah.
Get a lot of money, I suppose.
Yeah.
To me, this is a no-brainer, but I want to get your thoughts first.
Ooh, this is a no-brainer to you?
No-brainer.
Oh, wow. I still think I'm going Masters. I'm going one
Really?
Masters. Yeah, one Masters. That's it. Just
That's crazy.
how is that crazy?
Because 2 majors is better than 1 major.
No, but it's not the Masters.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so you're telling me that I can have the Open Championship at St. Andrews
Yeah.
and a US Open at Pebble Beach?
Yes.
I can have both of those?
Uh-huh.
And you would still rather have the Masters?
Yes.
Why? Just because of the jacket?
Yes. No, it's because of the whole, like, no one will ever, like, you'll never match the honor you'll get being a Masters championship for that 1 week. Like, if you're a Masters champion, it's like that week, everybody knows, and you will get honored, and the club takes great care of you. And it's like just this amazing thing that, like, you're honored every single time. And there's pomp and circumstance around it. If you're a US Open champion at Pebble, it's only at Pebble a handful of times, call it once a decade, or even like, every 5 years. So the other US Opens are kind of irrelevant for you. Like, maybe, okay, you show up and you do some corporate speaking gigs, but it's not like you're in the dinner. You're not like the star of the show. You're just a US Open champion, and there's been a lot of those. And then like obviously St. Andrews Open Championship, same thing. It'd be amazing to win that. But again, it's like not at St. Andrews all the time. The fact that every single year you could show up at the Masters and be a Masters champion, I think that's like the coolest thing ever. And the fact that you get the green jacket and you get to go to the dinner, to me, I think I don't think there's anything you could stack up in those other categories that I would pick over being a Masters champion.
Wild to me. I just, what are you talking? Like, I get it. Like, but okay, if we finished our careers and I had 2 majors and you had 1,
Yep.
I would be like, well, I'm better than you. I have 2 majors. You only have 1.
Yeah, but I'd be like, I got the green jacket, bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how many jackets you got? It's like, oh, this is great. You don't get a jacket if you win at Pebble Beach. You get the same trophy you win if you win it anywhere.
But I also think the third option of like the every signature event, the tour thing, I wouldn't want. That's the lowest priority for me.
I think that one is interesting because it's like,
it's money.
If you did that, then you're probably in the Hall of Fame. Like that even one season that good is sort of that would be a Hall of Fame season. So like that gets you another level of like Hall of Fameness. Well, this is another interesting question because people talk about this with like when it comes to Zach Johnson is that a Hall of Fame career? Because he wins the Masters.
Got a Masters.
And he won the Open at St. Andrews.
I think if you win a major, it's Hall of Fame.
No, it's not.
No?
No. Oh, my God, no. No. One major is definitely not Hall of Fame, but like 2 majors puts you into the context, into the conversation, and then I think that you have to look at the rest of the body of the work. I think 3 majors, 100% Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like that's the tipping point. I think 2 majors can be a Hall of Fame career judged on the quality of the venue. So like, okay, if you get 2 majors and one's the Masters and one's the Open at St. Andrews, like I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Gary Woodland, if he peels off another one, it's like you won the US Open at Pebble and then, a Masters or something. I think that, and then you look at the PGA Tour success, and I think you kind of make an argument. I think as soon as you get 3, it's like you're guaranteed Hall of Fame.
Yeah. The other caveat part of that was, and you also get picked for an away Ryder Cup.
Yeah. Well, and winning an away Ryder Cup. Yeah.
But I also think that if you won any major, you're probably going to be on the team.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that would still get you, and it might be not be an away one.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. It's also money, I think. If you win every signature event and the Tour Championship, I don't even know. We need to get Vinny back on, but that's got to be like $80 million.
Yeah.
It's got to be something. Like you're done.
More than that, probably 95 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy amount of money.
There's some things that are worth more than money.
Okay, can I ask you this then? The fucking champions dinner, that's what it is?
We're in a room that's painted Masters green. There's a literal Masters flag right behind you.
I know.
Like, get out of here.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. Okay.
Okay.
You either get a Masters win
Okay.
or you get to win the other 3.
Like in 1 year? or just in general?
In general.
I think you have to go with the other 3.
Okay.
Because I think that immediately, you're like 3-time major champ. There's such a logjam at 1.
Yeah.
2 is still plenty of players have done that. 3 puts you out into immediately like generational player.
Okay.
And I think that I would say that over a Masters win. It would kill me.
Yeah.
And then you're like, if you're like Rory, that's Rory. That's been Rory.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's gotta be so frustrating.
Yeah.
He's made a gazillion dollars. He's won he's won a gazillion times. He just didn't have the Masters, but now he does, bitches.
I know.
And you see him at the Irish Open in the opening ceremony. He was wearing. Oh, actually, can we take a little brief like pause here and digress to some style notes from Chad Mumm and the Vanity Index?
Sure.
Okay. So I am wearing a jacket today on the podcast in honor of Chairman Fred Ridley.
Okay.
Was recently, this circles back to Rory, but was recently honored at the University of Florida for their opening day football game.
Okay.
But Fred Ridley, who, if you're listening to the show, you probably know who Fred Ridley is, but he's the chairman of Augusta National Golf Club. He's also a absolute stick, was a U.S. amateur winner.
Mm-hmm.
So legitimate player. I believe he's a lawyer based in Atlanta, in addition to being the chairman of Augusta National. But he popped up on my feed getting honored at the football game for the University of Florida. He was a Florida Gator. And I just think he looks like $1 million.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had to call it out just because the style is so elite. And it's like, if I had to pick like goals, like one, could you have a better job than being the chairman of the, Augusta National? Like, absolutely not. But just the absolute outfit goals that he's got put together, it's just so elite. Okay. So just to digress here, like,
Yeah.
look at this man. All right.
Okay.
Like the hair on point. And that is the most Southern lawyer haircut you could get. It's like I don't even know how to ask for that haircut. It's kind of a poof.
It's kind of like your haircut. He just got more side love.
No, I know, but it's like the side love. Hold on, let's see.
Dude, it's the same fucking haircut.
But it's not.
You just Fred Ridley.
Hold on. No way. It's different, dude.
It's a little different.
There's more of a, I don't know how he does it, but anyway, his hair looks great. And then you get down to the blazer, which if you can zoom in on this photo, which we'll do, it's like clearly a linen knit, kind of unstructured, probably Italian blazer, but I would imagine made in the United States. My guess is this is probably like a Sid Mashburn special, but I don't want to put words in the chairman's mouth here. But I love the unstructured pocket. So he's got it's a classy sport coat blazer situation here, but perfect for like a hot, humid August football game night. And so I think, elite. Also, the blue, you can't beat the blue button-down shirt. I guarantee you that on that left breast, there's an Augusta National logo. You can't see it in this photo, but I'm betting you there is. And then his slacks, the slacks are just like a nice tailored, they're not like, they're gray, but you can tell it's like a nice linen. So anyway, he already looks great. And then I was like, I wonder if there's a full body shot. So go to the right one and the next one, the carousel. And I'm pretty sure there's a full body one. Oh, yes. Look, the Gucci loafers.
The Gucci loafers.
Yes. Oh, my God. Anyway, chairman freaking looks great. So that's some real goals. As you can see, I'm wearing my loafers today. These are not Gucci because I can't afford it. But
Gohan?
No, they're Polo. They're Ralph Lauren, which I got as a gift bag. I had a gift bag at a tournament, by the way, so I didn't pay for them. But I've got my slacks on in honor of the chairman Ridley. And I also have an Italian kind of knit blazer on. So I'm just trying to do my thing. And in the hair that's somewhat similar.
You are Fred Ridley, or you want to be Fred Ridley.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of fashion icons, I noticed this week Rory's at the Irish Open, and he was wearing his green jacket. But then there's a great photo, some internet sleuthing that was done. Is in this photo he's wearing his green jacket, of course, from the Masters and from Augusta, and then that tie is an Augusta National tie. So like, if you're gonna wear the green jacket out in public as a Masters champion, I love that he went multi-logo.
Yeah.
This is like what we talked about in our logo episode about, you can't have 3 or more. This is the ultimate example when you win the Masters,
You can
do
unlimited.
you want. Yeah, you could be wearing Augusta National shoes for for all of that.
I did see an interview where he was talking about there are rules to wearing the green jacket.
Yeah.
And, it's supposed to be with it's got to be it should be a white button down. And you have to be wearing shoes. Like you can't be wearing the green jacket and flip flops or something.
Yeah.
So,
What are they going to do? take it away.
Yeah, you're right. But
know.
that's what he said. So
I'm sure there's like guidelines about it, in terms of getting photographed in it. And part of I think the joy for Rory is like waiting to get that for so long that to actually, I think he would probably like be excited about some of those, like the tradition of it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
going back to the Roger Steele question.
Yes.
I think I have it. I think I understand. I think I figured it out. You are from Georgia. So the Masters is such a big part of like you growing up in golf. I grew up in Pebble Beach. The U.S. Open for me at Pebble Beach is like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, no way. No way. I would rather have two than one.
So you were the little kid like with the putt before, mom yells and say, hey, we got to get going. You were like putt to win the U.S. Open at Pebble.
Yeah.
And mine was obviously win the Masters.
Eagle putt on 18.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like a 2-putt on 18. It's just like
I know, but the Eagle putt's
big
better.
right to left breaker, just nuzzling in there close.
I know, but one of the cool things about Pebble Beach is it ends on a par 5. That is very gettable.
That's true. It is very gettable. That's a great hole.
Great hole.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's fine.
I like this. This was a good discussion.
I want to get let's clip this part too. I want to know what the VIPers think. Like, you guys comment below. Tell us what you think, because I think it's a super interesting question. Would you rather win 2 majors? They could be at any venue, or the Masters once.
Yeah.
And the 2 can't be, one of them is the Masters.
Right. No, that all makes sense. I love that. All right. That was a good one.
All right.
Yeah. Nicely done.
All right. Well, I think, did we do it?
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of ground.
It was fun.
That was a nice long podcast. This was great.
We got
could
a
just talk golf.
Excel spreadsheet in this one. It's very nice.
This is like we're plumbing the depths of the end of summer pre-Ryder Cup,
Yeah.
post Walker Cup content mines. But we're happy to be here with you on the radio, on your Apple Podcast, wherever, Spotify, wherever you listen. You can find us on Instagram or Vanity Index Podcast. Look at Skratch. Follow Wells Adams at Chad Mum.
Yeah, you can also watch all these shows on YouTube at Skratch, so go check that out. Everyone out there, please wish me luck. Hopefully I don't die on this Hook Cup adventure.
Yeah, enjoy the Hook Cup. I can't wait to hear some stories from that. And then we got another round of great episodes coming your way soon.
See you guys. Hook Cup is this?